Welcome to Funimation 3D, Kids and Family Cartoon, the magical world where stories come alive. Today, we will take you on an adventure through Vietnam's history to meet one of the cleverest and funniest characters ever, Trang Quynh, the witty scholar who outsmarted kings, merchants, and even foreign envoys with his sharp mind and kind heart. Get ready for laughter, lessons, and a little bit of magic. Long ago, in a small village surrounded by golden rice fields, bamboo groves, and sparkling rivers, there lived a boy named Quynh. He was curious and playful, with bright eyes and a smile that never faded. While other children were busy chasing dragonflies, Quynh was busy asking questions so strange and funny that even the adults had to laugh. When he went to school, he often made his teacher speechless. One morning, while sitting under a banyan tree, Quynh asked, "Teacher, if the sun moves across the sky every day, doesn't it get tired at night?" The teacher sighed. "The sun doesn't move, my boy. It's the earth that moves." Quynh scratched his head and grinned. "Then why does my shadow move too, teacher? Does it move with the earth as well?" The children burst out laughing, and even the teacher could not help but smile. Everyone knew Quynh was no ordinary child. He had a mind as quick as lightning and a sense of humor brighter than the sun. As Quynh grew older, his cleverness became known far and wide. He studied hard but never lost his playful spirit. When the imperial exam came, he surprised everyone by achieving the highest rank, earning the title of Trang Quynh, the top scholar in the kingdom. People cheered and celebrated in the streets, waving colorful flags and beating drums. But even as he entered the royal court, Quynh remained humble and mischievous. He didn't care much for fancy robes or polite words. He cared about fairness, laughter, and common sense. Unlike other scholars who used their knowledge for fame, Quynh used his wit to help ordinary people and to teach the proud a good lesson. One day, the king himself heard of Quynh's intelligence and decided to test him. The royal court sparkled with gold and silk as the king sat upon his grand throne, looking both amused and curious. "Trang Quynh," the king said, "they say you are the smartest man in my kingdom. If you can solve my riddle, you will be rewarded. But if you fail, you must sweep the palace floors for a week." Quynh bowed politely and smiled. "Your Majesty, please, ask your riddle." The king stroked his beard and said, "Tell me, what creature on earth has no tail, yet has 1,000 tails when it moves?" The courtiers whispered and murmured. None could guess. Quynh pretended to think hard, then replied cheerfully, "That's easy, Your Majesty. It's a fish. It has no tail like a fox or a dog, but when it swims, the ripples behind it look like 1,000 tails." The king laughed heartily, his golden crown shaking as he clapped his hands. "Marvelous! You are indeed the cleverest of all." From that day, the king often invited Quynh to the palace to share stories and riddles that made everyone laugh. But Quynh's adventures did not stop at the royal court. One day, while walking through a busy market filled with the smell of ripe fruit and grilled rice cakes, he saw a greedy merchant selling magic golden eggs. The man shouted, "Buy my golden eggs! Whoever owns one will become rich overnight." The villagers, poor and hopeful, began to buy them. Quynh watched for a while, then stepped forward and said politely, "Dear sir, these eggs are magical, you say? Then surely they must come from a magic chicken. May I buy that chicken as well?" The merchant hesitated. "The chicken isn't for sale." Quynh raised an eyebrow. "Oh, what a pity. Then how can we get more golden eggs? Unless, of course, you were lying." The crowd gasped. The merchant stammered, "Well, perhaps they're not entirely golden." Quynh smiled kindly. "Then you must return everyone's money before your words turn to dust." Embarrassed, the merchant refunded the villagers and hurried away, tripping over his basket as everyone burst into laughter. That day, the people learned that honesty is worth more than gold, and cleverness can protect the weak without a sword. Another time, during a rainy evening, Quynh was walking past a pond when he heard frogs croaking loudly. He joked to a friend nearby, "Listen, the Frog Council is holding a meeting tonight." The friend laughed. "Truly, Mr. Quynh, frogs can talk?" Quynh smiled. "Of course. but they only speak to those who can listen with their hearts. Soon the villagers gathered around, standing under their conical hats, listening to the frogs croak in rhythm with the rain. Children giggled and said, "Shh, the Frog Council is talking again." From then on, every rainy night became a time of joy and imagination, and the village was filled with laughter instead of complaints. Quinn's humor could turn even a gloomy evening into a magical story. But not all laughter was simple. Sometimes Quinn had to use his wit to defend the pride of his country. One day, a foreign envoy came to the royal court, proud and arrogant. He bowed slightly and said to the king, "Your Majesty, my country is known for its wisdom. If your scholars cannot solve my riddles, you must admit we are wiser." The court fell silent. The king frowned, worried about losing face. Quinn stepped forward calmly. "I will accept your challenge," he said. The envoy smirked and asked, "Tell me, how many stars are there in the sky?" Quinn smiled. "That's simple. I can count them right now, if you can tie each one to a bamboo pole for me first." The entire court erupted in laughter. The envoy's face turned red, and he had no answer. The king clapped his hands in delight. "Well done, Quinn! You have defended our nation's honor." From that moment, the envoy never dared to boast again, and the name Trang Quynh became a symbol of both wisdom and national pride. As the years passed, stories about Trang Quynh spread across the land. Parents told his tales to their children by the fire. Traveling singers turned his wit into cheerful songs. They told of how he helped farmers win against greedy landlords, how he tricked lazy officials into working, and how he made the king laugh even during difficult times. Though some of his tricks were mischievous, they always carried a lesson. Through humor, he taught people that knowledge is not just for showing off. It is for doing good, protecting others, and bringing happiness. In every story, Quinn reminded everyone that true intelligence comes from kindness and courage. One evening, when the sun painted the sky with colors of gold and purple, Quinn walked through the fields, watching children fly kites and laugh. A little boy ran up to him and said, "Master Quinn, can you teach me how to be as clever as you?" Quinn smiled and placed his hand on the boy's head. "It's simple," he said. "Be curious, ask questions, never stop learning, and always, always use your wit to help others, not to hurt them." The boy nodded eagerly, and Quinn continued walking down the road, his robe fluttering like a cloud in the sunset. Behind him, laughter followed, soft and warm, like music in the evening air. Though centuries have passed, the tales of Trang Quynh still live on in every village of Vietnam. His cleverness continues to inspire generations to think, to laugh, and to stay kind. He was not the strongest warrior or the richest man, but his words could move mountains and mend hearts. He proved that a smile can defeat arrogance, and a clever mind can change the world. And that, dear friends, is the story of Trang Quynh, the clever scholar of Vietnam. A hero of laughter, wisdom, and endless curiosity. If you enjoyed this magical story, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Funimation 3D Kids and Family Cartoon for more legends, adventures, and educational tales from around the world. Let's keep the spirit of laughter and learning alive together. See you in the next adventure.